Welcome to the Rundown. It is Tuesday, October 1st, the start of spooky season, and we are brought to you by DraftKings. What's better than watching football on the weekend? Watching football on the weekend with the DraftKings Sportsbook app in your hand. Our partner DraftKings is hooking up all new customers who bet $5 will instantly get over $200 in bonus bets. Follow all of your favorite Barstool personalities' picks in the Barstool betting group on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the app now. New customers use my promo code RUNDOWN and bet just $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code RUNDOWN, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. We had an amazing doubleheader of Monday Night Football and also a doubleheader of Mets Braves. But let's get to the football first. Jared Goff was perfect throwing the football. 18 for 18, I think around 296 yards and two touchdowns, and caught one touchdown. It was actually a great game. The Lions showed out. This is a Detroit team that can be very dangerous down the stretch.
Dude, they didn't even give Goff the game ball afterwards.
I know.
Said he gave it to someone else.
I think it was one of those things where it was just so automatic, and Campbell's just going off emotions, not stats, that he's just like, you played with your heart, and that's who he gave the ball to. Where it's like Goff was just balling.
Seahawks are pretty good too.
Yeah.
I think they're 3-1 now. That was the first loss, right? So like they've been pretty solid. And Jared got the Lions obviously for real. I did kind of umbrage with one thing you said. You said it was two great games. That Titans Dolphins game was not great.
Okay, I'll admit I bet the Titans early when it was plus money line, live line, and it just ended up being a great game. The rest of the stretch, if you bet on the Titans.
Yeah. But the Titans was a great game. Yes, the game itself, the competitive match between these two teams was horrific.
I know. I actually, that was biased. I bet on the Titans.
It is stunning to watch the Dolphins try to play football without.
Yeah.
Dude, it's wild.
Does Tyreek go back to the Chiefs?
Like, what do they do? Like Tyreek, Waddle? Like, do you trade these guys? You just totally clear everything
Can
off?
you loan the Chiefs like in soccer?
No.
Where you give them Waddle and Tyreek on a loaner?
Not on a loan.
And then try to tank? That would be pretty wild.
But should they trade these? Should the Dolphins be looking at draft capital now? The only problem was they just gave Tua a shitload of money not that long ago.
I just don't get how the Dolphins can't. They got to trade. They got to trade for someone. There's someone serviceable out there. They had Mike White. Remember Mike White?
Yeah.
Dude,
I feel like Mike White could probably be better than what they got right now.
But what's that going to get you? It's going to get you 7 wins.
You know what would be crazy?
Dick.
Actually, this is psycho, but Zach Wilson actually.
Honestly, yeah.
Might be Zach Wilson outside of the
he's
Jets.
better than-
I mean, look at Geno Smith. Look at Geno Smith. Look at Sam Darnold. I mean, I think Zach Wilson has way better arm talent than any of those. Not the best decision making, but as we saw those guys on the Jets, now have some time, throw them on the Dolphins, just have them throw it up to Tua all the time, or just throw check downs to Tua. I mean, to Tyreek. That could make something.
I fully agree with you.
I
want to be on the Zach Wilson to Miami train now.
I mean, I think because just look at Sam Darnold, look at Geno Smith.
Sam Darnold has a better arm talent than Zach Wilson does.
Zach Wilson can do stuff with the ball that Sam Darnold can't. That's just.
I just didn't see it.
Yeah. You didn't see it live, but
Sam Darnold was a guy that never had any tools around. Never had an offensive line. Never had wide receivers. Finally has those things. He's starting to look very successful.
Yeah.
Playing our Jets on Sunday morning.
I know. It's going to be a revenge game. It's going to be bad.
On the flip side, Zach Wilson stinks.
I know. I'm just squatting on
Can't even make the Bo Nix starts over.
Bo Nix isn't even that good, but
that's my
who
point.
knows? We'll move on. Will Levis, huge fan of Will Levis. I don't know what's going on with him. If you looked at him on the sidelines, he was tweaking out. Did you see him? It looked like he took a shit ton of beta-alanine or pre-workout, and he was just literally itching himself the whole time. After he even got taken out, someone's got to check on him if he's got hit wrong. He threw pretty bad pick in the beginning of the game, and then he was, trying to make a play, dive for the first down. He's a competitor. That's what I love about him. He plays with heart. Hurt his shoulder, but someone check in on him. I think he's got a long NFL career in front of him if he's able to get some of the rookie jitters out. With a lot of these guys who are thrown in early and then just end up getting blown up early in their career, and then they find success later. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I want to see him succeed.
Yeah, I'm a Levis stan. I like Levis a lot. And also this is kind of technically his real rookie year. He didn't play all year last year, obviously. Played half of the year. I'm a fan of Levis. I mean, if you have a bad offensive line, you're going to suck. It's just how life works.
I don't, it's hard
Football's
to tell.
so situational.
Is the problem Levis or is the problem the team? I don't know if Levis is going to ever be a great quarterback, but is he a competent one? I don't know. He's not right now, not on this team.
Moving on to the Mets. So, did they win the first game? They had to win one of those games to make the playoffs.
Correct.
And the Braves need one of those games to make the playoffs.
Correct.
Do you think that they made a deal so they both make the playoffs?
No, but it's not like that. So the Diamonds were fucked no matter what because the Mets won the first game, thrilling game, incredible game. But whoever lost that first game was going to win the second because the second the Mets won, they put in all the scrubs and they called up someone from the minor leagues to start the game. They didn't care about winning the game. So just like if the Mets had lost the first game, they probably would have won the second because the Braves would have played all their bench players. So the Diamondbacks were kind of fucked no matter what happened last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's baseball.
Diamondbacks also blew a 7-game lead this month. They had a 7-game lead over the Mets this month, and they blew it. So I'm not going to cry too much for the Diamondbacks, even though yesterday was kind of a disservice. Other than that, come on.
Also, if you're a grown man that was getting mad at the Mets and Braves for celebrating together, you're a crazy person.
Yeah, I don't.
You're a crazy person. If you're over 15 years old and that got you annoyed, you're a crazy person.
I couldn't agree more. Why does
Like they're all friends now. Who gives a shit? It's not like it's fucking Yankees Red Sox 2003.
What was that game that if they tied, they would have both made the playoffs? It was the Chargers and the...
I remember that. Yes.
Was it the Chargers and the Rams? And
Ken
they
Jack might
literally
remember
almost tied in like the craziest occasions of 2 overtimes.
Raiders? Ken Jack saying Raiders.
Yeah, Chargers, Raiders. That was the wildest thing. And you almost thought, like there was it was because someone went for it on 4th down. It was like the prisoner's dilemma. They were like, oh fuck, like they're not down to just make this tie happen. We have to like try to score right now. Like, because they're trying to get us out. It was such a crazy ending to a game, and I kind of felt same vibes from this Mets-Braves. So, moving on, we have Pete Rose, unfortunately passed away. Does his death sort of open up a path to the Hall of Fame for him?
Yeah, it's not crazy seeing all people tweeting. He technically got a lifetime ban. People are saying he got his lifetime ban is now over, so he shouldn't put him in. It's crazy. I don't think so, though. I mean, I think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame, but you can't put him in after he's dead now. That's ridiculous.
Well, he had a lifetime ban.
I know, but
Show Jackson. Show Jackson is still ineligible.
Yeah, they should have reverted his lifetime ban while he was still alive.
I don't know about that. Pete Rose, scumbag. If you don't believe me, go look him up. Look up some of the stuff that he's done. He also did admit to betting as a player, as well as a manager. So, I mean, Pete Rose, not a great guy, even goes beyond the gambling if you want to talk really bad guys. So I don't know if there's a pathway there because of some of the off-the-field stuff is so heinous and so horrible that's been alleged that I don't know if there is a pathway, honestly.
Well, moving on, different than sports, a weird story coming out of Montana. Basically, a mad scientist type guy, he's 81 years old. He cloned and then hybridized 2 types of bighorn sheep, and now he's in prison for it. So, like, if you've been hearing a lot of celebrities, they clone, like, their dogs, or, like, they cloned, like, Dolly the sheep. This guy bred game animals for game preserves around the United States. Like, you can go shoot a zebra or, like, a giraffe in, like, Texas on a game preserve if you wanted to. Mm-hmm. So this guy was breeding bighorn sheep, and what he did, this is wild. So there's this type of huge bighorn sheep in Mongolia called the Marco Polo bighorn sheep, which is the biggest in the world. They're like 400 pounds. They're the ones with the curly ears that look like, the curly horns that look like the Rams logo. And they're like the biggest ones in the world. And he wanted to bring them to the United States, but he basically found a loophole by taking testicular tissue from the sheep in Mongolia and then using it to hybridize with a bighorn sheep in the United States. And he thought he basically like circumnavigated all these crazy wildlife laws and created this super hybrid bighorn sheep that you could hunt in the United States. And they were just like, dude, you need to go to jail. This is too much.
I'm good for jail for that.
Yeah, I mean, if you could do that, and like, what else can you do?
I think we should probably cross the line, like stop the line at being able to make our own animals.
Yeah.
Let's let nature handle that one. We don't got to make our own super animals.
Yeah.
That's a little too much for me.
And now all these sheep, they're saying, have to all be slaughtered because they're like super sheep. And it's kind of fucked up.
Do they look crazy?
Yeah. I mean, there's no pictures that have been released because it was an ongoing investigation, but I really would like to see one of these.
Why would they have to be slaughtered?
They're giant mutant sheep, bighorn sheep.
So why do they need to be slaughtered?
Because they're crimes against nature, according to the government. Just look up Marco Polo sheep. These things are like jacked like a pit bull, and they got horns like they look like mutant devil sheep.
So that doesn't mean we need to kill them.
I know. I mean, hey, U.S. government. The guy's only getting 6 months because they think he's going to die in prison because he's 81 years old. So it's his life's work.
Yeah. Montana seems like a wild place. I got a wedding there in a few weeks, so I'm excited to see some nature.
Wild West.
But I want to see the authentic nature, not man-made nature, you know?
You want to see like what do they have in Montana? Is that the geyser?
Geysers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yellowstone?
Montana, a lot of libertarians. They're getting a little Wild West even in the genetic front. Crazy stuff. Moving on.
The baseball playoffs start today. It's the wild card round. Our Mets are taking on the Brewers. Probably the game's going on right when this gets released. You also have the Orioles facing off. You have the Royals playing today as well. A lot of National League games, Braves, Padres. So it's going to be an interesting set of games.
What are you thinking for the World Series champion, Clemmer?
I like Phillies and Orioles, maybe? I don't know. The Orioles haven't been playing very well, but I still kind of believe in them.
Very Northeast pick of you.
I know, 83 World Series Redux.
Yes.
I think the Phillies are really good. I feel much more confident with the Phillies than anyone in the American League, if that makes any sense.
Really?
Yeah.
Over the Yankees? The Yankees are pretty fucking good.
Yankees are good.
Yankees are pretty good.
Yankees are good.
Are you a Yankee fan?
I'm a huge Yankee fan. I usually get into the Yankees more like later in the season.
Yeah.
Because it's a long
I'll be
season.
honest, I have not watched the Mets at all this year.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like
No.
It's
Why?
like
Because they've been pretty good.
I don't know. I just really haven't been watching.
I'm a casual, I'll admit it, when it comes to baseball. I like to go to games in the beginning of the season and, it's spring, it's fun, and then I'm like, okay, they're good, they're winning, okay, and then I like drop off in the middle of the summer because it's like July 4th, and then like I get back to it at the end of the summer, early fall, when like football starts. I'm like, oh, like, how are the Yankees doing? And then it's like, oh, they're going to make the playoffs, and then I'm like all the way in.
Yeah, as I've grown older, I've really only just become like a really big Ranger fan. Outside of that,
Yeah.
kind of Mets and Giants are definitely going lower in my rankings.
I mean, it's just hard. You know?
It is hard.
hard to pay
Yeah,
attention.
you get older, like
No, it's more just like when you're like not getting consistent, like the Yankees haven't been good since 2009, really.
they've been good.
They've been good and on, but
haven't
they
been in
let
the World
down.
Series.
Yeah.
They haven't been in the World Series since then. Another team to watch out for is the Astros. They face off against the Orioles today. The Astros have been playing fantastic since June. That could be a team that could go to the World
So they
Series.
left Verlander off the roster.
He's been his neck's all fucked up, and he says like, I don't know how I'm going to do from start to start. He's been horrible since coming off the IL. I'm not surprised to see Verlander off. I think he's too risky right now. And that Astros team is pretty good.
Well, a lot to go. So,
Also, Mountain Strong T-shirts. Buy those
yes.
that we have on sale at the Barstool store
Yeah.
for the people in Western North Carolina.
Terrible stuff. That's our rundown. Thank you for watching.